Hello guys, have you ever wondered why in India still we use rote learning in our school and higher education and in colleges too? Are you familiar with the statements like, beta, this year 20 people secured 500 out of 500 in board exams. Next year you better be the one, study hard. This is the only way we can succeed. Bro, you need to go through the questions 6 and 10. Those questions are repeated each and every year. Better this that will come this year too. And oh, guys, I just need to do my class homework and also my tuition homework. It's tiresome. If we have lots and lots of toppers every year, why is after independence we still have only three Nobel Prize winners in the science field? Does writing exactly as book states means good memory or good intelligence? Is it the time should we need to concentrate more on our way of learning? Stick around until the end of the video so that you will learn what are all the engaging learning experiences and what type of students need what type of learning instead of the rote learning which need to get end at least by now. What is rote learning? Rote learning is memorization of the concept without deep understanding of the concept. You will routinely repeat that concept again and again so that it will get a good impression in your mind, so that it will be easy for you to recall the information without any delay in processing that. Examples of rote learning: basics of basics, what alphabets, numerics, memorization of phone numbers, and also spelling of words, those things that they introduce us during our kindergartens. And basics called as max formulas, chemical formulas, those are introduced during our elementary and high school days. What technique does Rote uses? It uses Bloom's taxonomy. It is framed for higher order level of thinking in human being. But the basics of that is a fundamental block of Bloom's taxonomy is remembering and recalling, because you can't always go and check in Google or ask someone. You need to know some formulas and phone numbers, right? So that is what remember recalling is very important for it. And it uses the logic convergent thinking, not divergent thinking. So whenever one problem is presented in front of you, it has only one solution. Okay, so that is what the pressure is about. One problem has one solution, it doesn't have many solutions, which means like examples MCQs, truth or false, max problems. Up until the problem is small, the confusion is small. It uses drill and kill technique. Drill the students like in military training and kill his or her motivation to think beyond the thing that is presented in front of them. What it does is it will kill the students' creative skills. They will lack the confidence if they are not going to answer as trained, and kill their intellectual curiosity for learning, which is very fundamental for innovation. When to stop the rote? At the age of 10 to 11, rote teaching, rote learning should be stopped, and at the age of 12 and 13, the skill called HOTS, that is higher order technical skill, should be developed and should be taught in the children, because at that time their brain is in the prime period of developing cognitive function, which is the basics for critical thinking, problem solving and logical thinking. At that time, if it is not introduced, the student will continue to rote until the end of their life, which is what is happening in Indian education still now. Reality of rote learning in current scenario. In order to implement the cognitive learning and cognitive skills in students, we must first understand what is hindering in our progress. So, in our Indian society, a student securing top 10, top 100, top 50 marks are celebrated continuously. The student who got the gold medal is considered as prestigious in the society, because it is equivalent to attaining a status for Indian parents and Indian teachers. A student, at the minute he or she writes what he thinks, like, it is not there is a difference between rote learning and remembering. Rote learning is about writing exactly what is ditto from the textbook, but remembering is about you are remembering what that has taught you and you are writing that according to your definition, not to the book's definition. But the meaning is going to be the same, but you're not going to use the same words. The minute the student is going to use the creative skill in the paper, he or she will be awarded less marks than the one who dictated that exactly from the textbook. Indian students, whether they are college going or school going, all are under constant pressure from their parents and from the society and from the teachers, where they need to be ideal, they need to get good grades, pass at least in 80 to 90 percentage with flying colors. Is it good to have that ideal thing in your mind? Because when you're under that constant pressure, you will develop the mental health issues like stress, anxiety, and particularly the students will develop resentment towards their parents of they are not understanding me, they are not supporting me, and they are just suppressing my talents from within, and they are trying to make me follow the hurt. This is what they are going to get, that inner inward anxious resentment towards you will show up in later part of their life. Survey has been carried out across the world parents, where they were asked about what is important for them to see their child's happiness or successful career or what else. And most of the world parents said that it is their child's happiness that is the topmost priority. But for Indian parents, it is one among the three priorities for their children. They place that successful career of their child is their topmost priority, where happiness is the third priority. And you can see, because of this, Indian parents will going to compare you. If you are going to be the average student or below average student, if you are going to fail the exams, they will say that I'm not going to talk to you, you are not my son, you're not my daughter from now on. That mind should change, right? It need to change, that even if your child is going to fail the examination, the world will still go on, and their life will also go on. It is okay that they just fail in this read or write rote learning only. You need to understand this first for Indian parents. In India, we learn science concepts mostly in the classrooms via the teacher, because we are having the teacher centric approach. Whatever the teacher says to us, it is good, it is correct, exactly whatever she is saying, it is the correct thing. And we are learning all those science concepts in classroom instead of the labs. The practical lab is going to give you that creativity. You can come to know that how the real world operates through the practical thing, which leads to our innovation and creative mind, which itself is blocked in most of the state, not only in state boards but also in CBSE ICS syllabuses. This mindset, where whatever teacher says is correct, you need to be in the good books of the teacher so that she will give you good grades. You can pass the exam with flying colors, with the full internal marks. All those things need to change, because the teacher is not always right. If teacher is right, why we are not having so many teachers who have cleared PhD but who have not got any award? Coming to the mark allotments, how it is allotted for the student who is extremely good in memory, not in intelligence, extremely good in memory. But exceptional cases are there. Some students will be extremely intelligent too, and they will write exactly the same in textbook, and also they can grab the concept. But rest apart, most of the students will memorize it and study overnight. Some good scoring students, they will not study throughout the academics, but only before the night of the exam they will study exactly what questions will come. These are all the advantages of rote learning, right? These questions are just coming again and again, so we will do this, mug up this, all those things will happen. So what is the result? The students who got good marks because of their memory and because of the relevance, repetition, and not even repetition, the question pattern itself, you can accept this question is going to come. This situation need to change, or else how will you know that the student is having that critical knowledge in them? Ways to increase HOTS and creative skills in Indian students. As we see the reality about what is currently ongoing still now, we need to ask one question: how many students feel sleepy in the class, in the high school, in the college, not in elementary, in high school and in college? Mostly, they conducted a survey and they asked the students how you felt, you felt more sleepy or bored. And 7 in 10 students said that at least in some part of that particular day, they felt sleepy, and almost 30 percentage of the students said that they felt sleepy throughout the year, throughout the academics. They didn't even listen to the syllabus of what the teacher is trying to say. In order to change the current situation about read and write learning, the rote learning, and to increase the creativity skills, first of all, it is necessary to teach the teachers and professors that what are all the students' personality that are going to be present in the classroom that they are going to take class for. Because according to McKeechie's book, he stated that there are four type of student personality that are going to be present in the classroom, and teacher need to learn that all the four type of personalities are not going to accept the same way of teaching, which is currently happening. Ekiji stated that the first type of student is attention seeker. The name itself says that they live for attention. They dominate the conversation if the group discussion happens. And the teachers should learn that they should give equal opportunity to rest of the students too. The one who is dominating and demotivating the conversation should only give the apt opportunity alone. Inattentive student. The inattentive student, they have their own world. They fantasize a lot during the class hours, talk during the class hours, and they are simply bored because they can't understand the lecture, because the lecture is what not simple and not able to understand as such for their level of learning. Unprepared students, they don't come to classes often. They skip the classes and they learn this from the movies that skipping classes is cool. Why do they do that? They do that because they don't find the education is itself very simple. It is very complex, and they are not able to understand whatever is presented in front of them. Teachers should consider giving puzzles, quizzes to these type of students, so that they won't skip the class and they will not copy from the other students, because whatever you are answering is okay, because that is your creative power. That is how the teacher should encourage these type of students. Fourth type is uncivic and rude, disrespectful student. The student is psychologically affected anyhow. The teacher need to show some empathy and need to give some moral aspect to the student, so that they will be into the track and give their input to the class own benefit. Teacher need to understand that there are four different learning styles that students use during their academic times. One is visual learning. These type of students uses graphs and pictures, images to understand the concept better. And second one is auditory learner. Auditory learner is more into whatever they hear, they will learn through that. More or less like lectures, group discussions, and whatever they learn, they will tell that to their peers so that they will learn from them. All a form of auditory learning. And third one is the read and write learning, which is the exact example of rote learning. Whatever the teacher says, they will write it down. Whatever the teacher say it wrongly, they write it down and they read it. Some students, not all students, they write it down and they read. So reciting, memorizing without understanding the concept, deep understanding is not going to be there. And the fourth one is kinesthetic learning. These type of learners requires hands-on experiment, case studies, real life examples, so that they can come to the conclusion that why are we learning algebra, what is the real life example of Pythagoras theorem. And these students are going to question the teacher that why it is so important that you are teaching this now. And at that time teacher is not going to shut that student up. Mostly Indian professors and students, I mean Indian professors did that to their students. But In this situation, the teacher need to understand that that student is trying to learn the real life example. The exact help that you're going to do is teach them the real life example, so that you are doing that student a good thing. One way to reduce boredom and sleepiness of the students in class is to increase their curiosity, and that can be achieved by Socratic questioning. What is called as Socratic questioning? It is by challenging what is presented in front of you. So teachers and professors should allow students to question what you said to them. It is okay that they are going to ask you. It is okay to tell them, because you need to indulge it as an experience that you are also in that learning position. It should be in form of student centric approach. So types of Socratic questioning. First one is clarification question. So the students can raise a question like, how does it that you said now is going to affect the condition? How does it even make any sense? This is a basic question. Clarification. Assumption questions. Okay, you are saying that this can be constructed in this form, but I'm saying, I'm in my own creative sense, I'm just saying this can be constructed in this form too. Why can't I assume this in this format instead of yours format? This is the assumption question. Assumptions of many creative assumptions. One problem has many solutions type. Probing question. Probing is okay, so you are saying that by this experiment they said that this is the conclusion, but is it exactly the same? By and what I understand from this 1 hour lecture, I am concluding this in some different way. That is also welcome. Probing question. And implication and consequence questions. Okay, so you are saying like, if we are not going to be if we are not going to obey our parents, that then we are going to be the uncivic students. But the question is when to obey those parents and when to understand that they are over involving in your life. That is the reason, right? So what are the consequences of this assumption? Because you are saying that parents are equivalent to God, and you are saying that all elders should be respected. Is that going to be the truth? But many elders are there who are narcissistic. Should they need your respect? You need to challenge them. And viewpoint question is, what can be the alternative for this that you said? Alternative is more or less like one problem, many solutions. And questioning the question, how does it apply to everyday life? So basic Socratic questioning is about not believing whatever is presented in front of you, as it is a teacher, as it is a professor, or is it any high authoritative member or your parent. You just need to question them. That is going to increase your curiosity. But in India, sadly, if not only a child but a grown-up adult is going to ask a question, what an Indian parent will will tell you is, shut your mouth up and do what everyone is doing. That is what their exact reply is going to be, which is very sad, which needs to change. Ways to change. Recently, Finland have switched their rote learning to the phenomena based learning, where students are going to learn from role playing, from the real world projects, where they are going to involve from the basics itself. There is no they can't buy the projects from online. They can't go and buy some shop based programs, but they are going to build the programs by own self. Here in India, we addressed that eradication of rote learning through NEP, National Education Policy, in 2020, which states that communication, collaboration, all should happen via creativity. NAP focuses on reducing rote learning via regional language teaching, where the students can understand even much more better through their own mother tongue, through the giving more importance to research area, and eradicating the out of date curricula, which is the main culprit now, because we are still learning all those out of date syllabuses like C++, where the world has gone higher, advanced in AI technology. So all those out of syllabuses, out of date curricula should be eradicated by NEP, and the reduction of teachers' administrative works so that they can concentrate more on grooming the students into making them aware about NEP, and also about hands-on experiment, real life critical thinking, gaining practical knowledges. We hope that NEP will be implemented in full-fledged, so that all will give their best to make it a huge success, so that we can get rid of this rote learning, because it has eradicated all our creative mind throughout the years. We hope that the creative minds of Indians will be restored by this NEP and other creative progress which will be made by Indian government. And more importantly, the thing is, Indian parents and teachers should collaborate with their students to make this scheme a success, so that we will get out of this herd rote mentality as soon as possible. I hope that this video make you learn a good thing about new creative knowledge, how cognitive skills will help you get rid of the rote learning we practiced for all those years, and what are all the things that you learned from the rote that destroyed your creativity. Leave that in the comment, and I'll see you in next video. Until then, have a good day. Bye bye.